Glad we're doing this in a brewery. This is a perfect pour right here. No foam on this crowd at all. So we're gonna crack this thing open like it's barrel aged, right guys? Yeah? All right. This is a great way to de-stress. I know you can't always go into an offshore haze. Sometimes you have to de-stress at home. And you know, for me, I've rarely had a good adult living situation. Take my first roommate, for example, the one that sets the bar. We met at work. It's a trap. No one is at work like they are at home, even if they work from home. I'm gone a couple days, I come home to a surprise new pet who just came off a full shift of fertilizing the carpet. There's nothing quite like opening the door to a sunset glistening off a freshly fertilized carpet. Your nose sings it before your eyes can bring it. My roommate interrupts this Kodak moment to ask, "Isn't he sweet?" "Yeah, his silence is golden, like the puddle I just stepped in." After I took my shoes off. Now she'd run from conflict, so off she went. Front door, front gate, parking lot patter, disappear into the park, right? I go to sleep. I wake up to a sea of assorted placemats covering various stains. The pattern seemed to be, the worse the stain looked, the worse the placemat looked. I yell, "Are we playing hot lava in here? Do I just jump from mat to mat?" Too strong. Door, gate, park, gone. Then someone told her shampoo was bad for your hair. So she started dyeing her hair with hair dye to brighten it up. It stained our tub so bad it looked like we melted down Bikini Bottom to bootleg sponges in there. All while her hair is falling out. So she went back to washing. No. She went with a more drawn-out approach. Literally. She painted a centaur and fairy forest mural over every inch of the bathroom mirror. Now, I imagine when I opened the bathroom door to see goat legs, sparkle wings, and veiny trees, I probably had a look of shock on my face. But again, no reflective surfaces, so I'm guessing here. I rhetorically yell, "Am I missing something?" Door, gate, park, gone. A fun for everyone game she would play was put the broken thing back together, and maybe the caffeinated guy coming off of an overtime shift will think he broke it. Yeah, really burns the midnight oil. Let's play. So her friend is leaning on the fridge door, just looking up at the beer bottle cap she'd pressed into the asbestos popcorn ceiling. You know, she had the voodoo of a new brew, you know. When suddenly the top door hinge snapped. So thinking quickly, he shoved everything in the fridge, suctioned the door shut, and went to bed. As if where they're from, all fridge doors drag across the tile, so what's the problem? Then I come home. Late, tired, vulnerable, just looking for a glass of milk to wash me down to Sleepy Town. I pull the door. Bam! Oh! Scrape. What the? Door, gate, park, gone. I don't even think she was dressed for that one. Think about it. How could she go from asleep to an outfit change to a sprint to the park in seconds? She wasn't Batgirl. We didn't have an Alfred. That's commitment. Yeah, good. Yeah. All right. So now sometimes she would, solve some problems that affected us both, like when she locked herself in the bathroom. I know, I asked too. You mean locked out? No, in. Okay. So her boyfriend took all the interior doors off, put them in the walk-in closet. Then to make room, put all my stuff in the coat closet. I bet you thought coat closets were for like 5 jackets, a box of photos, and a vacuum. Yeah, they are. But they crammed it all in there. It looked like an interview to stuff burritos for a college campus Chipotle. And frankly, I would have hired them. Then they magic taped glow-in-the-dark 80s beads where doors used to be. Now, beads aren't locking me in or out of a room, so they're not wrong. But when I walked in to to see plastic green waterfalls majestically cascading down every doorway. I sarcastically asked, "Hey, Morpheus, which pill do I take to exit the Matrix?" Door, gate, park, gone. Now, some of that's probably on me. I didn't even consider compromise for any of these, right? What if I had walked in and instead said, "Hey, I like where your head's at with the falling beads, but how about we put the door back up with some fake locks," right? It works for every public bathroom stall you've ever been in. Remember how safe you felt, right? Now, on to my second adult home and second surprise pet. Jealous? This strapping lad lived in our living room with the privacy curtain, really helped the apartment flow right to your own bedroom, and stay in there. He and his dog were always in your face about something, right? Like father, like son, those two. So one time, I open the bedroom door, the dog chest thumps me, bites a hole in my shirt, spits it on my shoe, looks up, farts, then walks downstairs. What? Keep in mind, I did nothing to provoke this fabric-spewing crop dusting. And if his girlfriend was home, you couldn't talk to her. Well, we're both in the kitchen. Should I pretend she's a ghost? Like Sixth Sense when all the cupboards are open? She walks in. I couldn't find the Pop-Tarts. Then I hurry off. They look down to see a sweaty handprint next to my unfinished cereal. We did have one good night with this guy. All right. We went out to a buffet, had some drinks, right? Not knowing he was on meds. Not my pig, not my farm. So we have our drink. Then he goes out to grab some food. We hear the loudest restaurant crash you'll ever hear, not followed by cheering. So, not a server dropping dishes. We go out to see him picking up all of the bacon off the floor. So we usher him back to the table. He stops at a stranger's table and says, "You know what looks good? That." Then grabs a piece of their meal with his bare hand and eats it. The terrified expressions on these people's faces. It'd be like the victim of like an ADT home security commercial. That's what we saw. Sadly, that's the fondest memory I have of this guy. Then one Wednesday, he texts me, "Hey, don't ever use my soap again. I found a hair." I reply, "How do you know it was my hair? At least 3 people share that shower." He says, "I know it was you. Don't deny it." I say, "Well, unless you save that hair to compare to another hair you took from me in my sleep, there's nothing to discuss." He says, "Fine. Just think of the last thing I washed and the first thing you washed." I was like, "Well, obviously you're saying that because the last thing you washed was your butthole, the one you're using to write these messages." He replies, "Exactly." Okay. Well, the first thing I washed was my Johnson. So to be clear, your vision was for me to be in the shower on hump day thinking of my Johnson and your butthole? Crickets. Is that why I can't talk to your girlfriend? No reply. And I can tell some of you are wondering, yes, I did use his soap, okay? But it was just like when he decided to go out and get a big unruly dog. I was already in the shower, then realized I had no soap. And I wished I had a soap to call my own. Then I saw that bar sitting there, all alone, looking at me like it needed me as much as I needed it. There was no time to ask permission. And I knew there would be consequences, but I didn't care. Because in that moment, the soap was free, and so was I. All this not having soap talk reminds me of this pirate. He docks at a trading port for obvious reasons. But first, he needs to, stretch his sea legs, hit the head, drink something that's not watered down rum. So, I should say there is something unique about this pirate first. He doesn't have an eye patch or a peg leg or, a shoulder parrot. He has a ship's wheel coming from the crotch of his trousers. So, he saunters up to the bar. Just think of like a toy soldier, but if there's anything green on this pirate, it's mold. So, he says to the barkeep, "I'll be needing a pint of ale." The barkeep pours the beer, turns around, stops. "The first one's on me, if you can tell me where that came from." The pirate says, "Aye, it started as a wee splinter. Now, it's driving me nuts." Before we move on, I'm going to address the elephant outside. Have you ever seen an elephant hiding in a tree?
No.
No, you haven't. They're really good. Why did boy pachyderms start naturally being born with red balls?
Why?
Because historically they hid in cherry trees. So, what's the loudest sound you'll hear in the jungle?
What?
A giraffe eating from the wrong cherry tree. So we rarely lock the front door. It's a bunch of guys. So sometimes I'd open the front door, and from behind the curtain he'd yell, "I'm in here." Well, thanks for ruining the surprise. What's the point of me pretending I can't see over your curtain when I'm walking up the stairs if you're just going to announce it? So I'd yell back, "What are you wearing?" He usually replied, "Jig." Well, coming up, we have company. So, Halloween mazes are no longer with us. My favorite fave is Horror Nights. It's a family theme park by day, then by night you see vegetation shadows and think Michael Myers is behind you. I love scaredy cats and monster encouragement. They appreciate it. I almost worked at Scary Farm once, so I know this. One maze, Frankenstein's monster comes running out. This girl ducks, screams. Now I'm face to face with him. She's covering her head. I said, "Woo! You came in and hit her like a hurricane." Next maze, a possessed nun jumps out of the closet. So the girl behind me pushes me towards Nunya and runs out the door. Face to face again. I said, of all the closets and all the fake houses, you jumped out of mine. If you could find interactions like that anywhere else, you were in the Netflix series Dahmer. I had to go to Oakland for my buddy's nuptials while a supposed mission killer was shooting guys who were wandering around at night. With available flights, I was going to have time to kill in the area in the evening. Not this guy. I did the same day driving round trip instead. Out of sight, out of the headlines. Now, trips like that make me hungry, and not for split pea soup. Anything used as a scare prop in The Exorcist should not be consumed by choice. You're welcome. I mean fair food. My buddy tried deep fried butter. He took one bite, it shot hot butter down his throat. He started gagging. I started rethinking my food choices. I decided chocolate-covered bacon. I'm thinking thick, applewood bacon strips dipped in quick-drying milk chocolate. It's Wendy's baked potato bacon bits and frozen chunks of chocolate in the same box you get orange chicken from Panda in. Yay! After a few of those crispy critters, I threw it away. Well, tried to. I threw it as a guy ran full speed between me and the trash can, knocking it to the ground. He said, "Hey, what was that for?" It was for that trash can. Now, after those two misses, I decided on the classic. The Krispy Kreme Donut Triple Cheeseburger. I have it in my hand when a lady in line says, "That looks good." I said, "It is. You should try it." She says, "Thanks," then grabs my wrist and takes a bite of mine. Like it was a giant turkey leg. Now, I felt her teeth graze my finger. That's how aggressively she came at it. Or maybe it just looked aggressive with the glazed foam in the corners of her burger stealing mouth. And she goes, you weren't kidding. Yeah, neither were you. Now, some people like to go to the fair with me because I used to do eating competitions. So they can try a bunch of stuff and I'll finish it. But not like that. Not like that. Now, some places don't have food gimmicks. They let atmosphere do the heavy lifting. I went to one for my buddy's birthday. They had him dress up like a pirate, get up on the table, sing, the whole thing, right? The server said his name was Damien. It was loud in there. I heard demon. That's what I called him, and that's what he answered to. You know, with age progression, he might have been the kid from The Omen. So my buddy is 3 sheets to the wind. So our table is wobbling like a wooden plank. The server bellows, "What's a pirate's favorite letter?" My buddy yells back, "Z!" That's Scurvy Dog 1, Demon 0. And then my date announces, "I have to pee so bad I can taste it." What? Ugh. Will allow me to escort you in case I have to throw up. Yeah. So, when you get to the bathroom, why does every public bathroom have a slip and slide trail in front of the sink? Like, seriously, like, law of averages. Somebody in here's got to be cupping water still when they turn around, right? We have to admit it, but I used to clean bathrooms for a movie theater, so I know. Like, you can check the time logs, I was there. So, the worst is when a toilet would break, because you got to go clean it, tape it, lock it, and then someone still sneaks in, I don't know, crawl under, whatever they do, they use it. So now you got to clean it, tape it, lock it all over again. One time I forgot to check where the ceiling fire sprinkler was before hopping over the stall wall. Good night, nurse. I woke up, flushed, on the wet floor, which made me think, did somebody use this again while I laid there? The first person I see when I walk out of the bathroom says, "Working hard or hardly working?" Why is that always the go-to? Like, I was dripping. Like, I looked like I tried to lift it and tore something and then just kept tearing things until I hit the floor. So, I mean, I heard that the dog in the back has a dark sense of humor. So I'm going to try this out. What do you call a dog with no legs? Whatever you want, they ain't coming. So, another job. Oh, yeah, okay. He likes it, he told me. So, another job I had at the movie theater was projectionist. There he is. So one night we had one of the Planet of the Apes movies. The film froze and the light burned a hole through a human to ape kiss. So normally you get eyes, maybe. Lean, going for it. Kiss, too long. Eyes, I'm not sure, but I think I liked it. Our guests saw eyes, maybe. Lean, going for it. No kiss, then eyes. I think I would have liked it, but I'm going to sleep better this way. The street behind us is called Murder Alley.
Yeah!
Because someone was murdered there.
And my name is Allie.
There you go. That's the response I got when I asked if I would be towed away. So, if you're parked there now, rest easy.
You're good.
They will not tow away your car unless you're in the trunk.
Even then.
Costa Mesa makes me think of Back to the Future. They have apartments that still have Murphy beds in them. And McFly's nemesis, Biff Tannen. Biff's real daughter dated a guy I knew, and I found out when he came to pick her up from my buddy's house. Nothing makes you feel more 3 sheets to the wind than looking through a peephole expecting pizza delivery, and it's a movie villain. I saw him saying, "I hate manure," with his eyes. So I replied, "Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?" Yeah. Then I walked away. I left Tom Wilson in the hallway of an apartment complex because I thought day drinking got the best of me. I see this guy slapping a phone, trying to get it to work. I'm like, "Hey, it's not an old TV." He goes, "It doesn't feel anything." Totally. My concern had to be that your phone could feel every one of those slaps. It's time to update that old analogy. It's no longer like you're beating a dead horse. It's like you're beating a dead phone. Thank you, Cocky Rocky, for hosting this, wherever she is. I heard that, yeah. Having the open mic after the show allowed me time to reflect. I like the sound of these Anaheim buses slowing down. That whoop, 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 whoop. I saw one of them with a bus bumper sticker. It said comments and a phone number. That's it. You know the calls they get don't relate to bus driving. Please leave your comment after the beep. Why do all your flags look sad? Get a fan up there. Beep. My tires need an ETA on fixing these potholes. Beep. You really put a hotel next to a cemetery? I can relate to the last one. I lived in an apartment that backed up to a cemetery. My buddy goes, "Did it just get colder in here?" I hope not. I'm checking windows and doors to reasonably explain the chill. Place was locked up tight, so we left. Sadly, Sixth Sense never got a sequel, but I'm not going to be the true story it gets based on. The place also had updated flooring to distract from a cockroach problem. Ooh, shiny, no. House of Horrors. When someone tries to scare me going boo around the corner, it doesn't work because of that place. Nothing is like rounding a corner to eye-level cockroaches. I go to grab a roll of toilet paper to defend myself, and a huge burnt sienna-colored cockroach falls out, flops on my bare foot, starts scampering up my leg. I go to swing at it, and it flies in my face and gets stuck in my hair. My little brother was a trainer at a nearby gym. He never sang it, he bring it. I worked front desk. We had a member named John Connor who stopped paying his bill. Not the end of the world, I hope. Because when that happened, John Connor's account was terminated. You feel that?
Yeah.
That dog whistle buzz in the air? It's getting real Skynet in here.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of the robot apocalypse, birds.
Don't swing it.
They were nesting in the front lawn hedges of this Italian place, so they had warning signs up. But not where I was standing. This mama bird must have been the Where's Waldo of finches. And I was the first guest to get too close to her nest. So she came screaming out of her hidey hole, pecking me in the ear. So I ran forward to draw the attack away from my date. Come on, I ran because a bird was pecking me before dinner. Bird flu? Yeah, I didn't see that on the appetizer menu. I was yelling at her too. I wasn't even looking at your eggs, lady. She took me to the door. Later, we went to the midnight showing of The Exorcist. I get home at 3 a.m. Now, regardless of your religious upbringing, possession movies told you what time of day 3 a.m. is. I walk into the bedroom I shared with my little brother, and Linda Blair goes and looks me in the eye. I back into the living room, turn the lights in South Park on until I can calm down.
And so far.
Now, Linda Blair wasn't in that bed. My little sister had someone in her bed, so she went and slept in my little brother's bed, but nobody told me this Freaky Friday switch occurred. And in 3 a.m. after The Exorcist, she might as well have been barfing split pea soup at me. Or the time I almost walked into a huge spider web. I saw the light hit it, took a step back to see the point break of spiders. Web jump right into my left pocket. It was so cool until it went in. No! What? What do? Do you reach your bare hand into the spider cave? I dare you. Oh, you're good at the crane game? Why don't you just drag it out by one of its 8 legs and that's 8 chances to win? No one's doing that. He's in there posting up for a fight. No. I saw a base jumping, mocha sprinkle spider say thanks a latte right into my pocket. The freaking legs were back like a flying squirrel. Dude, it's all the way down. No way. Are they aggressive? Is that bite poisonous?
No.
I'll Google it. Huh, I can't. My phone's in that pocket. I literally dropped trowel and then threw my shirt on top of it in case it jumps like that both ways. Then I jogged home. That was my Frank the Tank moment. Getting honked at because a spider hijacked my pants like it had squatter rights.
And they do.
This guy tried to one-up me. This guy goes, one time I walked into a huge spider web. It just pinned this giant orange spider in my face. I just started peeling the web off until it just crawled free. Okay, Ted Bundy. That's creepy. Me surrendering my sidewalk pants to the X Games spider? That's normal.
What is sidewalk pants?
I know a friend with a laugh like they're rubbing the finger around the rim of a bottle. And once she starts laughing, she can't stop. And soon enough, you can't either. Till you're like, am I drunk? Is that Biff Tannen? Has anyone stuck their finger in your mouth?
Yes.
To rub the gum where a tooth used to be? That's right. I thought there was a gummy bear stuck in her teeth at first. Wishful thinking. Turns out she was Fresno finger flossing with my finger. It's perfectly normal somewhere, like in a side yard shed, not a performing arts theater. Luckily, I can count on one finger the times it's happened to me, but it stays with you. I can't tell someone they're using too much teeth anymore. Because I know what it's like when they use less teeth. And we were at a magic show, so optimistic, mouth half full thinking me, I was like Chet behind her ear. No tooth there. But for me to think gummy bear, like we were eating pizza. What are we, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? There was no gummy bears on those slices. That's awkward. What's not awkward? Coughing in public. So why are you defending it? You didn't cough? You swallowed wrong? Really? I'm to believe you swallow so poorly. It sounds like a cough going down. Would you swallow a frog? You kissed it, no prince appeared, then your fairy tale turned into a campfire story. You swallowed it whole like a fever dream from Stephen King. She goes, no, it was juicy in my mouth, but it dried out quick.
Whoa! That's what she said.
That's an AB conversation. I'll just see myself out.
So this guy waves at me. So I wave back and ask, how are you? You know, classic, right? He replies back, just being a human. Sure. Yeah, makes sense. Have you ever heard the song Friday by Rebecca Black? You know, Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. I've never heard that song played publicly after Wednesday. It played twice where I was on Monday. Twice. Rebecca told me she's looking forward to the weekend the day after mine ended. It's not a good fit, Rebecca. My buddy says I stopped taking melatonin and it made me sleepy. Why'd you start taking it then? You just wanted gummies? Like, ooh, berry flavor. Oh, these are so addicting. What's in these? Right? Living with kids, sometimes they hit you with truths they shouldn't know yet. She says, red roses give me red flags. What? I mean, she's not wrong though. Think about it. If it isn't Valentine's Day, your anniversary, or the night of the big dance, and they walk in with a bouquet, your first thought isn't, aw, what a surprise. It's, what did you do? Right? We see a fox racing logo. Now, I know a fox is named for its thick, fuzzy tail, but when a kid says, it's weird to name an animal fox when it's white and orange, then adds, why does the name fox sound like a bad word? I forgot all about the furry wand duster coming off the back of this thing, and I'm thinking, what the fox is foxy about a white and orange animal? I mean, really, just kids used to go outside and play, right? I mean, doing who knows what with who knows who. Like, that's when they would see a fox, right? But now parents are so afraid that their child will be stolen like an unchained bicycle. So they just lock them inside like they're signed baseball cards. So that your kids can waste your money online or have some adult yell at them to get a job because they just beat them in a video game. Technology is sterilizing childhoods. We tried to play Ding Dong Ditch recently. Have you played that? Walk the block, knock on someone's door, run away. They answer the door. No one's there. Gotcha. So good. Yeah, everyone has Ring cameras now. If they don't, the neighbor does. Someone's catching it. Yeah, and those things record. So they're posting your failure to their social media, and it's trending. I knocked on the wrong door at 10 p.m. That stranger didn't open the door. An unfamiliar voice came from their doorbell. Can I help you? So, yeah, we're going the wrong way. It used to just like you hear something and you think, I'm going to test this. I'm going to find out for myself, right? I heard the rhyme. Jumping on the bed. One fell off, bumped their head. Now there's no more jumping on the bed. That stopped me? No, I jumped on the bed. Did I fall off? Yeah. Did I bump my head? No. I broke my clavicle. You live, you learn, right? Intentionally learning life lessons from TikTok is like intentionally ordering a veggie burger from In-N-Out. My vegetarian friend ordered one, wondering, ooh, are their patties made with corn or beans? Maybe mushrooms. Then they hand him a cheeseburger without the meat. Nothing between those buns but condiments and cheese. His face was like Milton from Office Space. He just, like a blood vessel popped. He was just like, I could set the building on fire. I laughed so hard I choked on my animal style fries. The food you have here at Dirty Nelly's is so good. I love it. It reminds me of when I used to do food competitions because I would just eat tons of delicious food. I had to stop because I got a stomach hernia. But I can still eat a lot of meat. So I was dared to go vegan. Every vegan restaurant I went to was trying to trick me using the real master of illusion, tofu. You close your eyes and you're enjoying some farm fresh chicken nachos with that real melted cheese, not that liquid canned stuff. Then you open your eyes, false. It's all tofu. My first meal after the vegan dare was lifted, a Big Mac meal. Gutsy. Halfway through the Sandy, I had a Mac attack. It felt like somebody just shot me with an animal tranquilizer. I'm like, is that Dexter Morgan? My body wasn't used to processing any of that. I just started shutting down in the middle of the restaurant. I'm just like, I need a Dr. Pepper, I gotta go home. Like, I told my vegan friends this, and they go, see, you shouldn't eat meat. So actually, that proves I never should have left. Because I did 2 Big Macs for $7 6 months ago with a Coke and a smile. We freak out when it rains here. Like we're gremlins and getting wet will make us start spawning. It's an outdoor shower with poor water pressure. Take it easy, Gizmo. Stop canceling plans unless your plans were sunbathing. Have you ever been driving and you ask your passenger if it's supposed to be windy? You expect them to open the weather app that's standard on any smart device. No. This one rolls down the window of a moving car. Yeah, it's windy. Okay, thanks. It's also windy on one of those cycle rickshaws. Those people that pedal those bikes to pull you and other people in the cart behind them, they flat out haul. I mean, they're swerving around cars, going up hills, whistling the entire time for some reason. Like, why are you wearing long pants? Get those cookies out. You're putting in some work. I'm gonna call one to get me out of here.
Let's reminisce. So, we were all known for something, right? I used to do backflips at pool parties.
Okay.
Soaking wet? Sure. Then I slipped. What? Split the back of my head wide open. I'm seeing red like Carrie. My buddy, keeping me talking until the ambulance arrives, throws up. I ask, are you experiencing concussion sympathy? Like, I know we're close, I just didn't know we were that close. He goes, no, your scalp is mouthing everything you're saying, and it's Frankenstein's monster. We get to the hospital, and someone yells, I'm a barber, I need a real doctor. Is that a thing? Did I just stumble on a loophole to upgrade my primary care physician? Like when they initiated her, where they like, rule 1, you never talk about barber doctors. In a moment of panic, she let it slip. Now, if I disagree with the medical care I'm receiving, I can claim to be a barber? Then what? I can choose the same doctor like Elon Musk uses, like I'm ordering a sandwich after him? Actually, I'm a barber. I'll have what he's having. My drunk buddies dared me to knock myself out and land on the couch. Right? Friends, yeah. So I jumped off the fireplace. I kneed myself unconscious, but I cleared the couch completely. Former high jumper, muscle memory. You've seen the videos where they complete the catch while being knocked out? Uh-huh. They found me asleep behind the couch. I woke up, started projectile vomiting. My buddy just scoops me up and drags me outside. He said the CTE shoulder barf cannon was terrifying. Like if he was Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket was doing death metal in his ear. People want to skydive because it's so scary. It's as thrilling as sticking your head out a car window. It only looks cool if you're a dog or Heath Ledger's Joker. So I decided to go bungee jumping over a pool at a clown-themed casino. I jump off like a Power Ranger into a helicopter spin. My head slightly dunks, and watered-down chlorine is propelled up my nose as I'm ripped out of the pool. It's called nasal irrigation. I'd go to the fair, where they raise you harnessed in a cage while a net opens beneath you, and then you're dropped hundreds of feet. The worker asked, "Why so serious?" While he unclips me, I couldn't even yell, I just fell. The group after us were unclipped too early and hit the ground. Yeah, skydiving's the scary option. I have one picture from bungee jumping. Water streaming off, one eye open, hand out. I claim I look like an Avatar waterbender. I look like someone that got the hot bath water running, then pulled the knob to make it a shower, and it came out ice cold. My friend and I toilet papered our buddy's truck, not knowing he was parking without a permit. And why wouldn't we think his parking was validated? We moved his car all the time while he was in class. It became, "Where in the school is your single cab Tacoma, dude?" Never got a ticket. When security checked whose car had been mummified, a fine was assessed. That penalty I understand. What I don't get is knowing somebody that got a DUI in Joshua Tree on a horse. A horse has a mind of their own, which means Seabiscuit was driving. All I can do is make suggestions with my foot. Like my buddy, he made me sit middle in his truck, so I stepped on his gas pedal. He learned. You can panic or you can slam on your brakes, but when the parking lot echoes with the sound of your tires squealing, no one's looking at the guy riding middle. I'm not getting a DUI for a horsey ride. Unless the horse is drunk. But if Bojack can walk a straight line and lick his own nose, I'm fighting that DUI. So my best friend here is a fighter. And not just because he was barefoot in skills and spiritual growth-based color belts, waxing on and waxing off, before Netflix made it Cobra cool. Thankfully, I live in a house full of females. My mom woke me up my entire childhood. So if a guy tries to wake me up, I innately respond like that strange man just broke into my home and told me he's robbing the joint. Cue my karate belted buddies trying to wake me up after a New Year's night in Vegas. I literally bounce his Neo butt off the bed into the wall like I was Agent Smith. You call your sensei after this, ask him what belt I should get for that sleep defense. I also learned he can't hold his liquor. He had one Fat Tuesday necklace drink that he nursed the entire night and never finished, but yet was still smashed somehow the whole time. He told me he saw Britney Spears and Jason Alexander in between Mardi Gras on the Strip. He probably blurry-eyed some impressionists. I'm just bummed he didn't get photos with these celebrities. I really want to know who he thought was the guy who played the villain in Jim Carrey's The Mask. Guaranteed it was just some guy in green face paint, right? Or his birthday party. BJ's, dinner. We wanted to get him drunk, but we started too strong. We did our traditional birthday stoplight with a brake pedal, which is 4 shots. Then he was poured 1 beer from a shared pitcher. Then he received a zombie mixed drink. Back to back to back. He got up to pee, threw up instead. Came back completely sober. The liquor hadn't even hit his system yet. He's like, "What are we drinking next, boys?" Nothing here. Like, this just turned into a store-bought drinks kind of night. So, how come I can drink over 24 beers in one day to make sure his bachelor party Costco run wasn't a waste? I didn't get sick in the mountains. I knew my way back to the cabin in the dark. And I broke my buddy's ankles on the ice. Or my birthday party. I had over 13 shots in the first hour, then proceeded to beat my friends at basketball while talking relevant trash before I was asked to leave. And not because I was still beating sober people at racing, which is true. I was asked to leave because I used to hurdle.
someone dared me to hurdle a table, which I did. I mean, in my defense, I was drunk and he triple dog dared me, right? Unfortunately, neither of us noticed what was on the other side of that table I was about to hurdle. I'll just leave it at that. But I'm still running off factory parts, right? This guy had to go through years of double kidney failure before a huge donation from his little sister blessed these two with a beautiful daughter and him with Benjamin Button's bladder control. Yeah. And he's a huge Superman fan. Hashtag Superman strong. Yeah. As a Batman fan, I was thrilled when he brought me to the premiere of Man of Steel 2. Oh wait, scrap that. Turns out Superman can single-handedly lift the Empire State Building, but he can't carry a domestic box office alone. So they went with Batman versus Superman. Okay, this Superman movie starts with Batman's childhood origin story. Then Superman is painted as a villain to Bruce Wayne, Metropolis, and essentially everyone not named Lois or Martha. Then Superman stops Batman from keeping kryptonite out of Lex Luthor's hands just so he can lose a one-liner pissing contest with Batman. Then Superman calls for his mom to avoid a Batman beatdown. Then Superman dies. Are you sure that wasn't a Batman movie? Like, is it a bird? Is it a plane? Whatever it is, I'm not clapping when it lands or when a Superman movie ends. But I clapped for that 2016 green glowing gem. Like the flap of bat wings swirling in a cave. And yes, that's another scene from that Superman movie. My buddy served in the Army. Thank you for your service. He's a great organizer. We call him our Alpha Team leader. It's true. He's a good listener. He'd do anything for a friend. Except when the bill comes. Mediocre tipper. Keep in mind, I was working at Ruby's at this time. We decided to all eat in my diner, and he tries to short a server I work with. We say, you need to put some more dollars in there. He goes, but $1's 100 pennies. What?
I'm with him on the two.
Like, who sees the world in pennies? It's time to round up, right? I have a work teammate that keeps an Advil bottle of pennies in his desk drawer. First time I saw it, I thought of like a confused leprechaun's treasure. Like he opens the drawer and when the sunlight hits those pennies just right, he thinks, I'm sitting on a gold mine. You two should talk pennies sometime. Yeah. So here's a thought. When did Indeed become work Tinder? Like the casual dating app. You hire someone off their site and Indeed, they show up for day one. But before that day is over, they quit. Because they said we weren't the right fit for them. Like they were just swiping left on us. The first half of their first day is just HR stuff. So you're telling me within less than half a day, you found enough brand new information that you couldn't have even guessed about us that made you go, whoa, that's where I draw the line. I'm out of here. No way. What that means is they were already on the fence before they walked in the door. It's time to fix your algorithm, Indeed. We're not looking for work flings. We're looking for commitment. I'm congratulating my coworker on his performance as my boss walks up. And she sticks up her hand, as one normally does when a high five is in order. Now, I'm just congratulating him, so I don't know, she could be congratulating me on my coaching or him on his performance. Either way, I'm into it, so I go for it. Turns out she's still a handshaker. She was actually just raising her hand to get my attention politely without interrupting our conversation, which she hadn't heard. So as far as she knew, there's no celebration we're we're going out of here, right? It's just a normal, everyday, hi, how are you? And then I come in hot with the high five. It doesn't sound that impressive, me telling you the story, but have you ever seen a video of like a dad, and he's got a baby, and he's got a helmet nachos, and he just catches a foul ball like it's nothing. Just palms a heater. That's what she did to me. She caught my high five midair and then shook it over my coworker's head. I actually like that better. Like, a win. Is a crisp 5 enough? I think victory deserves an elevated handshake. Yeah. I call it the loose 5 because you have to catch it, right? Now, it's almost like trying to get planned group event money out of this guy. Great organizer. We talked about this. He would plan these events, but then somebody else pays for it. How did he pay you back? He'd write you a check. Can I sign up for direct deposit? One time he future dated a check, so I just stopped cashing them. I still have them in an envelope. He never said anything. Now, I know your wife hooked up these free baseball tickets for today, but that doesn't mean you get a pass. Unless you count the free parking pass she also hooked up. Thank you again, by the way. So as a server who took it personal when I got a bad tip, I wrote this to let you know, when we go out today, if you end up paying for anything and you don't tip well, I'm depositing those checks you wrote. That's right. Someone's getting their money's worth today. You decide who.
The crowd usually in here is kind of like the ones that like your first middle finger was like your dad when he has to get a cold beer so you can watch the Raiders game. That type of vibe. So let's talk rated R movies. Or it's Christmas time, so Christmas rated R movie. Do you think Die Hard's a Christmas movie?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. This is the crowd. I think it's a great Christmas movie. But like, okay, so the people that don't think Die Hard is a good Christmas movie, they also are the same ones that watch Home Alone every year and claim that is a Christmas movie. It's the same movie. Like, just one's R and one's PG, but it's the same movie. Like they say, like, oh, well, Home Alone took place in Christmas time. Yeah, so did Die Hard. Like, okay, so Home Alone, they go on a Christmas vacation, right? He's dysfunctional family. He gets sent up to the attic because they're picking on him and he lashes out. And so they forget about him because they're running out in the morning and they take a flight to like France without him, leaving him behind. Then you got Die Hard where he flies from New York to meet his estranged wife in LA for a Christmas party. So same dysfunctional families, same time of year. Okay, well Home Alone has like a Christmas soundtrack. You don't remember, but so does Die Hard. In fact, they even have the same songs in it. Like Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Carol of the Bells. They're in both soundtracks. We just don't realize it, but they're both Christmas soundtracks. Okay, well, Home Alone looks more Christmassy because it's in Chicago and it snows in Chicago. There's no seasons in LA, so it doesn't look Christmassy, but that Christmas party looked pretty festive, all right? So, again, Christmas movie. Okay, well, you know, Die Hard's too dark to be a Christmas movie. I mean, why are you saying that? Just because, like, your mom wouldn't let you watch the sexy scenes in True Lies, but she'd let you watch Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, hook a guy to a missile and shoot him into a building? Like, no, they're both dark. Okay, yeah, so in Die Hard, yes, there's more death, because he uses real guns to shoot criminals, and, you know, Macaulay Culkin's shooting BB guns and like, nail guns and staple guns. But hey, there's that mob scene he keeps playing over and over and over, where some mob boss pumps some guy's guts full of lead. And he plays that multiple times. That's pretty dark. Okay. And then also, okay, so he's defending his home, just like John McClane from Die Hard is defending the building from criminals, right? But these burglars, they openly say that they are going to kill this child when they get their hands on him. Okay, so this kid who's been abandoned by his parents, right? Who thinks the neighbor is salting dead bodies in the ground, right? That's darker than Die Hard, right? Come on. So the defense doesn't work for me. Like, Die Hard's a Christmas movie through and through. I will stand by that. I'm sure Santa felt safer after John McClane took out the terrorists. So I'm good with that. Another thing I just learned, so I just gotta blurt it out. Basketball player Wilt Chamberlain, this isn't really a basketball crowd, but I just thought this was insane. Like, he scored over 50 points in 118 NBA games. That's insane. Like, I couldn't do that against any of you. Like, do you know how many shots I'd have to put up to even break 50 points? And then be like, hey, we're going to do that 117 more times. You're going to take your ball and go home. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to go anywhere. It's just too light. I don't know. I'm thinking about Santa saying, yippee-ki-yay, mother elfers in my head right now. That's all I'm saying. Sure. Oh, yeah. Patrick Starfish. Yeah, I did this more for the back, because it's like Patrick's on my back. So, it's under the word. Which is weird because I'm front facing, so that doesn't help anyone. Thinking about that right now, so that works out. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I just wanted to make sure everyone in here agreed Die Hard was a Christmas movie. That was the whole reason I came up here. I'm good. I'm happy now.
So don't let this work with a mouth fool you. I invited kids, so this is going to be family appropriate humor. It's going to feel like your mom invited a nice boy over for dinner without asking you first. Have you ever lived with an adult magician and didn't realize it until you sat down to watch a show together? I say out loud, I like this show. I go to work one time. It no longer says continue watching. Because that entire season, gone. Yeah, that's not rude. That's witchcraft. My buddy says Dr. Pepper is just as good warm. It should be cold. Yeah. Unless you have like one igloo cooler for all your cold stuff. If that's true, you're camping indoors. You've settled for warm Dr. Pepper so long, you got used to it. Like someone that works in the zoo and can't smell the poo. The answer is not warm soda. It's a Stanley. Stanleys keep drinks cold for 24 hours. But if you drop one, it sounds like a propane tank fell off a truck. Have you ever burped with a sore throat? I don't recommend it. Yeah, my body freaked out and decided to expel all remaining gas. That's right. My body's defense was to burp harder, like a punch in the neck. So we're at lunch, and she has to go to the bathroom. Her sister says, "Let me grab my drink." No, leave the drink. I get it, it's gonna be a bit. Let me bring something to do. But no one, should be slurping in the bathroom. If I walk in, I no longer want to be there. Does this happen often? Yeah? Then why doesn't the door lock? So she sits on my shoulder to jump as high as me on the trampoline. It was cool. Great audible reactions up top. Then, okay, too high. But was that fear or sarcasm? Maybe a challenge. I learned to drive on a stick shift, right? My mom is parked on a sloped parking lot. I keep stalling and rolling back. My little brother and sister, they can't see what's behind them. They just know we're running out of parking lot. So they start banging on the glass. Why are we here? You can't do this to us. Let us out. We're too young to die. Fear? Sarcasm? Challenge? Beats me, but to a first-time driver, that was super encouraging. So I print a lot of paper. Sometimes it feels like I hate trees. Have you seen the Lorax cartoon movie? It feels like I'm one reprint away from selling you clean air to breathe. Have you ever publicly called someone a chicken brain? I was multitasking. I meant to say, you have chicken on the brain. Have on the just decided not to come out that day. So all everyone heard was him, see you later, me, you chicken brain, and we never talked again. My brother compliments a girl by saying she looks like Tina Belcher from Bob's Burgers. If you're unfamiliar, that's not flattering. Yeah. Unless you're saying you recognize her Halloween costume. I love when you can tell what something is by the sound it makes. A bottle shakes and you know someone has melatonin. Yeah. Come on. What if humans were like fish and only grew as big as our home? If you have a goldfish, you know they magnify if you upgrade their tank size. Imagine that with humans. You're going home with somebody 5'1". What do studio apartments run around here? You're going home with somebody over 6'3". How many roommates am I about to meet? No more surprises. Someone told me we should get shock collars for our Yorkies so they stop waking us up in the morning. No. Those hurt. I know. I've tried it. So, dogs are colorblind, right? Maybe on the outside. Because when I barked into that collar, whoa! Vibrant colors everywhere. If you want to maybe dabble with hallucinogens, but you're not sure, try a shock collar. You'll know. Have you tried dog food? I haven't since I was a kid. In my defense, I was starving, dinner was cooking, I could read at the time, and it said savory chunks of real meat. Savory was being generous. Chunks, nailed it. Real meat? I don't know. I thought Subway and Taco Bell was real meat. I don't like Sprite. Controversial, I know. When I was a kid, I gulped a Sprite my mom left out, and it was something zittier. Zima. Now Zima's all I taste when I drink Sprite. So if you think a discontinued clear carbonated alcohol will help my nausea, pass me a Sprite. It's a flavor you don't expect to excite you. Like a seafood buffet, mom asks the kid what he's pumped for, and he yells back, "Shiitake mushrooms!" A fist shaking, glasses fogging, battle cry for a larger than normal portion of mushrooms. When I got back to my table, you know I had mushrooms on my plate. Dirty Nelly's has the best food for live comedy. I'd like to place my order now.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out here. Let them hear it. Let them hear it. Soak it in. Yeah. Yo Mama's so confusing, Scooby-Doo wouldn't even solve that mystery.
But Scoob, there's like a sub sandwich on the table, and zoinks, there's a Scooby snack inside the door.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Yo Mama's so hairy, she looks like a poodle with a sweater on.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, that's a smart breed. That's a compliment, right? Yo Mama's so old, she can't leave the museum without setting off the alarm.
Oh my god.
Yeah. She didn't even go to the museum. The antique store donated her.
Oh my god.
Yo Mama's so fat, she sat down in Walmart and lowered the prices.
That's what we all do right now.
You better pay off that layaway.
Amen.
Yo, mama's so poor. Ducks feel bad taking unexpired bread from her. Speaking of, why is the same exact bread so different from store to store? Stay with me on this. Like, one store, it's so soft, you can almost hear a baker slapping down fresh dough in the back. The next store, duck bread. The center's so hard you need lake water to break it up, and the crust is peeling off like your apartment painted it and your lease is up. Why am I squeezing loaves? I know it's a weird soapbox to be on, but what if you bought hot tamales candy, and there's only a chance that it's spicy cinnamon chews? There's also a chance it's stiff saltine crackers. You're squeezing that bag. Do you have any Harry Potter fans here? That's like 4, I think. This should land then.
Yeah.
I've had a couple Death Eater experiences in the last year. First, on the Harry Potter ride. It broke down right at a part where a Death Eater comes out to suck your soul right into his face hole. So I'm left there in the dark with creepy music and sucking sounds. When they realized that it wasn't going to be fixed soon, did they offer a round of butter beers to boost spirits? No. They suddenly turn on the house lights. Ah! I did not know that a Grim Reaper was floating that close the whole time. I mean, we're in Las Vegas, so let's talk about drinking, right? Like backyard party level drinking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where everyone's raising red Solo cups. No one has a Sharpie. All night. Is this my drink? I don't know. Taste it, right?
Yeah.
That was me 5 minutes ago.
There you go. I love that shallow fridges are called counter depth fridges.
Oh, that's ours.
Yeah. So now, if anyone I find out is shallow mid-conversation, I compliment their counter depth.
Oh, no.
That's right. Don't worry. They're shallow. They'll think you like the deepness of their responses. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Why do you have one trash bin and one recycle bin that are emptied into one dumpster? They don't trust you know what's recyclable. They think, can you sort these correctly?
No.
God, so toss it in, we'll sort it later. Now, I know we have a lot of dog-loving moms here. Yo, dog's mama's so fat. When she fell, I didn't laugh. The sidewalk was cracking up, though. Yo, dog's mama's so ugly, she made a blind kid cry. That's right. But don't worry, because across town at a different park, 2 friends bumped into each other walking their dogs. One friend says, we should go get lunch. The second says, well, no one around here allows dogs. The first says, watch this. He walks in with his Great Dane. The host says, no dogs. He says, I'm blind. The host says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. He says, me either. They laugh. She says, right this way. The second walks in and tries the same. Walks in, host says, no dogs. He says, I'm blind. Host says, oh, I'm sorry. And your guide dog's a Chihuahua? I mean, if you want us back at the Rolling Smoke Barbecue Tavern, right, this is how you do it. I was sick recently, and my dogs comforted me. But I wouldn't say they were good at it. They didn't, leave me, but they did stand on me. They walked on my head. They licked my face while I slept. So enthusiastic, but, you know. I do love how if you catch a dog doing something wrong and you call it, they freeze, making the guiltiest face ever. It's the reason why Scooby-Doo's catchphrase is ruh-roh, right? I wish humans were like that. No more listening to 2 different versions of the truth. One person will tell you exactly what happened, while the liar shows teeth. How many people have bounced a check?
Never.
No one, okay. That's amazing how many of you still can't admit it. When's the last time personal checks were widely used? You're still holding on to that? I mean, you guys are like, don't raise your hand, I know people in here. Right? So, So I moved out when I was 18, right after I graduated high school summer. Where do I stand for this?
You're good there.
Okay. Yes. Okay, sounds good. So I moved out the summer after I graduated high school, right? So I'm 18. So I live paycheck to paycheck. So I love debit cards because, rent, groceries, I'd overdraw every month, but the whole thing went through. So I figured I would get checks. It seemed like a responsible adult move, right? So I cleared out my account for rent. I'm at the store. I'm getting milk, Cheerios, sour cream, burritos, Dr. Pepper, flaming hot Cheetos, barbecue hot pockets, ramen, hot sauce, ranch pizza, Red Bull. You were 18, you know what I'm talking about. So this is gonna last me till my next payday, right? But what I didn't know is checks bounce completely. They take it way more seriously than cards, right? It's not really $35 overdraft fee. It's really, I'm banned from Ralph's or Smith's for you locals. Banned from your local store. It makes you all tingly next time you go to buy groceries. I'm like, do these stores talk to each other? Am I on a list somewhere? Like when I walk in, are they gonna be like, I recognize your name, get out of here? I don't know. So I go to the ATM at the front of the store and get cash, like I'm avoiding a paper trail. And then I have to do market math as I walk through the store. I'm like, okay, so that's blank, plus tax is total. All right, well there goes the hot sauce. I guess I'm swinging by Taco Bell for a free handful instead. And then when I go to the front and they're like paper or plastic, I'm so traumatized. I'm like, plastic, always, never paper again. Poor kid is bagging for me. He's like, okay. Also, I learned when I was trying to save money that store brand, it's not the same. It's not the same. It says compared to, not taste like for a reason. It's not the same. Ohio passed a law that it's a felony to plant your team flag on their field after you beat them. Before getting state officials involved, how about you just don't let them beat you, right? That's the personal checks of laws. Because when I overdraw with my debit card, that's like college kids rushing the field after a win, right? Knocking over a steel goalpost to cheers. But the guy who plants his measly little team flag, he bounced a check from the same account the debit card uses. But now it's a felony. So straight to jail, criminal. The way my buddy talks about his wife reminds me of the show Love After Lockup. It's about people who date behind bars, then they're released, and so they try to make it work on the outside. The way felons talk about their parole officer is how he talks about his wife. How they want to do this and that, but they miss a check-in and go back to jail, right? But the second they don't have to check in, they get arrested. So they needed a parole officer. And so does my buddy. I met a similar guy, okay? He was at the bar drinking, right? He was supposed to be birthday gift shopping. The party started in 52 minutes. The party was 30 minutes from his house where his wife was getting ready. Instead of shopping, he drove 30 minutes the opposite direction to drink at this bar, which means he was already 8 minutes late. Before he started buying shots and watching football. Okay, well, it was during Christmas time. He could say that the store was busy, stock was low, here's a card with cash. No. He was actively drinking at the bar and posting videos of it to his social media. And that's how a parole officer gets their wings. It hits different out here. Daytime Vegas is way different than nighttime Vegas. Nighttime is vibrant, right? Never closes, cash is king, anything's for sale. Daytime Vegas, it's dirty, right? The air looks like an explosion just happened, right? I see remnants of New York and France. Is that Rome, right? All the plants died. Where did the tourists go, right? That's why everyone asks, what happened last night when they're here? But you locals know, right? Once you get off the strip, you know, same thing. No, it's the same thing. Take California Family Restaurants, for example. I went to one out here with kids. On our walk from the car to the door, we passed an empty case of beer, a used drug spoon, vomit, and a bag of urine. In that order. Now, I didn't check the bag for warmth, but they might be in the restaurant now. I walked in and Brandon, the greeter, had trouble making eye contact because 4 off-duty strippers were waiting to be stabbed. Right? So I put my name in, I go wait outside to avoid glitter transfer. A guy walks out going, oh yeah, definitely wearing a G-string. I assume he meant Brandon. It explains the face he was making at me. Did anyone start any New Year's resolutions? What was it? Oh, donate meat? Don't eat meat. Okay, I like donate meat. That's nice. All right, don't eat meat. Okay, that's a tough one in here. Yeah, all right. I know a guy that started working out so that he could defend his girls as boys started coming around them. Okay? His girls aren't older than 10. So you need to hit the gym to take on 10-year-olds? Like, if I'm hiding in the bathroom from a child, I'm working on my fantasy football teams. I'm not worried that my man strength won't be enough. Like, did he watch those videos of The Grinch where those parents, they dress up and they pretend to steal Christmas and these kids will fight a grown man? Like, if that's enough to spook you into a gym membership, just call your neighbor, the one who works construction, and offer him that meatloaf I just had and beer and ask him to bodyguard your children. Because if 10-year-olds physically intimidate you, then you're the kind of guy that gets kicked out of a baseball game for sneaking in the 12-ounce White Claws, you know? And he only risked it because the smaller cans make his hands look big, you know, for selfies. As he's getting escorted from the stadium, he's yelling, "Ain't no loss when you're drinking claws." Yikes. Pro tip that I just learned because it's freezing cold with this door open, go into the bathroom. The bathrooms are super warm. You're gonna wanna take your shoes off. It's really nice in there. Kind of balmy, actually. It's great. So the next time you guys see me, I'll be in California. If you weren't invited, I'll tell you the same thing I tell everyone. If you can get Rick Harrison to go, you can go. Yeah. All right, I'm Robin. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye.
Guys, please give it up one more time for Robin Page.
Has anyone read a children's story recently? They're terrifying thoughts with pretty pictures. Like, let's start. So, Little Miss Muffin. She had her cottage cheese snack ruined by a begging tarantula. Old Mother Hubbard. She had the barest cupboards in the land. It looked like she was about to fumigate. Her hungry dog was so hungry, he played dead, convincingly. Little Red Riding Hood. She was walking through the woods when a big bad wolf in sheep's clothing started hitting on her, talking about her eyes driving him mad and lips luring someone bad, and holding her when she gets to Grandma's place. Woof. Jack wanted love from Jill, so Jack waited on a hill. When he realized that Jill ghosted him, Jack fled, fell, and smashed his head. Hansel and Gretel. They ran away from an abusive stepmother into a candy house trap funded by a blind cannibal witch. So Hansel held on to a dead kid's finger bone while Jill shoved witchy poo into an oven. Sleep tight, pumpkin. You want me to leave the lights on for you?
do you think? What's a dance every leprechaun knows? The Shamrock Shake. Come on, you've seen it. You've seen it. What happens when two leprechauns strike up a conversation? It's a lot of small talk. What is every Irishman's response when hearing your favorite singer is Bono? You too? Why did the Irish drive all the snakes out of Ireland? Well, we are walk them all out. I mean, I know you think Ireland leprechaun's small. It's actually pretty big. It's not walkable. Mountain humor. That's fine. So, leprechauns are known to go into bars, pubs, but are they known for paying their tabs? They're going to be a wee bit short. And yes, that was 3 short jokes in a row, and that is too many short jokes, and that's why leprechauns will never be stand-up comedians.